Blessings and welcome to the Path to Freedom. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and as always, I'm deeply grateful and honored that you're choosing to join me, that you're choosing to tune in to a moment of expanding our consciousness and a moment of raising our vibration, a moment of waking up, a moment of allowing for greater and grander expressions of who and what we are to emerge. So welcome, 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 wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome. Today's theme is it will manifest in due time. It will manifest in due time. And this, of course, has to do with manifestation and how we're wise to surrender the planning. It is so often and it is so normal for individuals to set goals or to have visions and to sort of try to determine when these visions and goals are going to come into fruition, when they're going to manifest. And this, of course, oftentimes leads to frustration and resistance as these visions and goals perhaps do not fully manifest when the individual wants them to. And so whenever we move into seeking to call something forth, we're wise to realize that the manifestation never ever happens according to our schedule. But manifestation always happens according to divine and perfect timing. Imagine planting an apple seed in the ground. You plant it in the ground, and first of all, the conditions need to be right for that particular seed. Before anything happens, the conditions need to be right, which means that the soil needs to have the right temperature, it needs to have the right pH, it needs to have the right humidity, there needs to be enough space for the seed to begin to shoot and sprout. And when the conditions are right, it will begin to shoot and sprout. However, it is not up to any of us to plan when it is going to shoot and sprout. It is not up to any of us to determine when it's going to have manifested into a fully grown apple tree with ample apples and leaves and branches and twigs and all these things that an apple tree has. It is not up to us to figure any of this out. But we're wise to surrender to the natural order, the natural timing for this seed to grow at its own pace, at its own time, and trust that whenever it begins to show above ground is the perfect time. Whenever it begins to produce apples, it is the perfect time. We perhaps may want it to produce apples after a year, or we may expect it to begin to produce apples after 2 years. But the apple tree will begin to produce apples when the conditions are right for it to begin to produce apples. And so coming back to manifestations, let's say that we're working toward a vision or an intention or a dream or a goal, and we're moving along the path of manifestation. We're moving along the path of its realization. And we're paying attention to the guidance. So we're engaging in inspired action and we're doing something every day. Always doing it to the very best of our ability. And then, perhaps, we move into a space where nothing new emerges. When there are no visible signs of us moving forward. And we need to be aware that as God is omniscient, as God knows all there is to know, it means that perhaps something needs to happen on the other side of the globe for the conditions to be right and ripe here, so that the visible evidence of the manifestation may begin again. But as we have talked about before, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Even though we can't see a thing, of that apple seed in the ground, it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. It simply means that we cannot see it. And so we're so wise to not judge by appearances. We're so wise to not attach ourselves to particular outcomes or particular timetables or time schedules, because we do not have the full picture. We do not have the full picture. I'm not sure if I've shared, but there's a story about an ant to illustrate how our perspective is so limited while Spirit's vantage point is the highest one. So imagine an ant. Imagine you standing on a lawn, and in the midst of that lawn, you can see a little ant scurrying. On the one side of the lawn, you can see the ant hill from which the ant emerged. And on the other side of the lawn, you can see a sugar mound. And so the ant emerged from the ant hill, and it is now making its way toward the sugar mound. And from the ant's perspective, it is scurrying along, and it's making turns and twists and circling back, and it goes hither and goes yon, and it goes here and there, and trying to find its way toward the sugar mound. And to the ant hill represents the past. And where the ant is right now represents the now. And the sugar mound would represent the future. But to Spirit, and to you standing on the lawn, you can see both the ant hill, the ant, and the sugar mound, all in one, all now. And from your higher perspective, it's much easier for you to see the path of the ant, the most efficient path, the most direct path for the ant to take to reach the sugar mound. The ant cannot see that path. It is so blinded and blindfolded by all the blades of grass and the little twigs and the leaves and God knows what is on that lawn and in that lawn along its path. But to you, you can see the path. And this is exactly how it is with Spirit. Spirit knows exactly. To Spirit, there is only now. There is no past. There is no future. There is only now. Now, 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 now. And from Spirit's highest vantage point, God sees all there is to see. God knows all there is to know. And so we're wise to trust that when we're being guided to move, we are to move. When we're being guided to stop, we are to stop. And whenever revelations happen, whenever manifestations happen, step by step by step, sometimes incrementally, sometimes major and dramatically, but whenever they happen because it is the perfect timing for them to happen. And when there are no visible signs of manifestation happening, something is still happening. The manifestation has not stopped just because we cannot see it. But it is simply so that we cannot see it. But it still happens. Manifestation is always happening. It is always a now thing. So it's not something that will happen in some future moment, but it is happening now, and we're wise to trust that it is happening according to divine and perfect timing. So the manifestation will be visible in due time. Divine time, Spirit's time, not our time. So we're wise to not judge by appearances. We're wise to release and let go of our attachments to how something is going to manifest or when it's going to manifest. Because we don't know. We don't know. God knows, but we don't. We can't see from our limited perspective. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Until the next time, I bless your day, and I bless your way. You beautiful, magnificent, radiant, and powerful being. Namaste.